Okay, we'll get started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service Board meeting for July 15th, 2025. First item is a roll call. We have one absence with notice by Member Brennan and one declared vacancy, provincial appointee. Number two is the approval of the agenda. Do we have a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda as written? Moved by Member Grantham, seconded by Member Hahn. All in favor? Carried. Number three, any declarations of pecuniary interest for this meeting? Seeing none. Moving on. Reading and correction or approval of minutes for the general meeting minutes May 20th, 2025. A mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Member Grantham, seconded by Member Hahn. All in favor? Carried. On to item 5, review of monthly police service reports. We will send it over to Chief Campbell. A couple of months for the meetings to go over. Allow him to make any comments if he pleases.
Thank you, Chair. So yeah, you do have the activity reports reflective of the months of May and June before you. No real comments really to make. I will say on the activity reports, we tend to, obviously we're into a bit of a period where our numbers for activities are down across the board. Not only in number of occurrences, but even in the charge summary table, you'll see that there's a bit of a drop in some of those activities. From the chart summary piece, I will mention this, that over the course of almost the last year and a half, we have introduced a lot of new people into our organization. That obviously comes with a lot of field training, and so a lot of extra time is spent during the initial stages of investigations and capturing and refining their investigative skills, report writing skills. So the draw is taking away from some of the proactive enforcement activities. As we start to, I'm going to call, straighten out and have more people out on their own, ready to go, I do expect to see certainly a lot of our proactive activities bend the other way and start to increase a little bit. But that's really my only observations. I'll certainly take any questions or comments in regards to any of the other reports that make up the monthly reports.
Member Grant?
Yeah, thanks. 2 questions. First one I think is relatively easy. I saw 0 impaired driving in June. Did I see that correctly, Chief?
So through the chair to Mayor Grantham, yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. And then the second one may be more difficult. You know, just a little while ago we had an unfortunate incident in our community, and I don't know if you want to comment on it in any way, shape, or form, but just to ensure our community that everything's safe, that it was a random incident. So I don't know if you have any comment on that, Chief.
Again, through the chair to Mayor Grantham, certainly thanks for the opportunity to provide a commentary on this incident. First and foremost, obviously it's still an open active case, so I'm not going to obviously mention specific details about the incident itself. I will sort of make some general comments. One, this is a very rare event for this community. The last recorded homicide that this community had occurred in 1992. So that is a long span between violent incidents that have resulted in an unfortunate death of a member of the community. This event recently, just over 2 weeks ago, has had a huge impact on our community. And I'll stress in a couple of areas. First and foremost, to our community. This community is, in my opinion, a very tight-knit, close, respectful community where a lot of people know other people, either directly or through a friend of a friend. So the 6 degrees of separation sort of perspective, whether it's the victim's family or the accused family, people know of people, and it is impactful, and it is something that people spend a lot of time thinking about, talking about, and worrying about the community of their own family, their own community. I will say that this community, no surprise to me, has responded very, very well and is super supportive of not only the family of the victim, but those who were perhaps directly or indirectly involved in the case as a witness, or someone who, you know, provided some sort of information to further the investigation along. I think that this community will rebound very, very well, because they know that the true nature of this community is that it is a very safe community. Do we have blips? Yes, we do. Do we have some of the social disorder activities that impact almost every community in this province, in this country? Yes, we do. But I think that we have great people, both at our municipal governance level, certainly on our police board level, and certainly this policing service is, as we all know, very community-minded, community-oriented, and will continue to work with our community to ensure that we strive to make this the safest community as we can. Another area where I think there's been a huge impact specific to this investigation certainly is on our membership. I can't say enough about our frontline responders who responded immediately once the first call was received, and were able to apprehend the accused party on scene, probably, in my opinion, preventing further acts of violence from potentially occurring. I can't say that with all certainty that any further violence would have occurred, but certainly that quick response, that apprehension, that de-escalation without any injury occurring to the accused party, or thankfully none of our members, speaks to the level of professionalism and the skill set that they possess to be able to respond and put that person into custody. We certainly have engaged in some activities post-incident to strive to help our members. Sorry, I'm not sure where that came from, but
You're on. Figured out how to
Yelling at his dog.
Sorry, my dog was yip. And I thought I was on mute.
So we, we've certainly undertaken some steps and activities to start to assist some of our members with post-event de-escalation and activities to help them sort of get through the process. We are very lucky that we have a really great relationship with a lot of our policing partners, and in this specific case, because of the type of incident it was, it required an activation of a major case management process. We were able to activate and utilize the Ontario Provincial Police Major Crime Unit, who came in with an abundance of resources and specific skill sets to really embed and then assist us in moving through this investigative process. Some comments I heard both from our OPP colleagues as well as our own staff was the seamless relationship that seemed to exist and the cohesion in working together, which, according to our OPP colleagues, isn't the norm in some of the other locations where they've been asked to come in and work with another organization. So again, to me, that also speaks to the type of people, the character we have in our organization, who aren't afraid to roll up their sleeves and to put in the hard work sure that we, again, gather, bring forth all of the evidence necessary in building the strongest possible case that we can. I guess what I'm going to leave you with is, these types of incidents leave a scar, and time is our best friend as far as allowing people to heal at the rate that they need to heal. The incident itself is done, but it hasn't gone away, and there will be reminders that will pop up, through anniversary dates, through the court process, and I think it's only imperative that we as police leadership help remind the community and our membership that collectively we will continue to work together to get through this particular incident.
Yep, Mayor Grant.
Yeah, thanks, Chief, and you anticipated my follow-up question, which is the supports for your staff, so thank you, and don't think need a motion. I'm sure all the other board members would want to pass on our thanks to all your staff for what they've done, all the officers, so can you ensure that somehow that message gets through to them, that the board is greatly appreciative of everything?
Yep, and again, through the chair to Mayor Grantham, absolutely. And I know that a lot of them actually watched this procedure, so they'll hear your words firsthand. I did want to mention, and again, the chair I know is part of an organization as well. EMS were instrumental in that initial response, providing care as best they could along with our members, and I was so glad to see at the post incident briefing that EMS were sitting side by side with our members, and we had an organization, Warrior Beyond the Blue Warriors, an organization that really comes in and provides post-incident debriefing. And again, my conversation with that organization after was that that was probably one of the most positive and engaging conversations that they've ever seen at a debriefing, which again highlights the organization. But again, I wanted to recognize the fact that the EMS staff, who were paramount to the response, were also part of the post-event debriefing, which I think spoke to how successful the organizers saw that event going. So.
Or I think, yeah, you echoed what I was going to say. I had the chance to talk to the individuals afterwards, and they echoed how well they liked having the debriefing and being able to talk to all the officers involved and everything. So yeah, thank you again for that. Any other comments, questions about the reports before we move on? Member Hahn?
Yeah, just further on that incident, also so pleased to hear your comments, Chief, about the seamless transaction that appeared, at least for the community, but especially the trauma support post-incident. And like you said, that doesn't go away, and we know that, especially with the court cases, and there's still a lot of pain within the victim's family, I'm sure. So I'm really pleased to hear that, and thank you, Mayor, for bringing up our board response about the compliments to your membership. Unbelievable. And EMS also, and I think you should do that also to your members. So I had two further questions. One was in regards to the June CID report, and it was a fraud case that involved a loss of about $142,000. And the interesting part, which I was trying to understand, was they thought they were investing in a legitimate financial institution. Can you explain that to me? Like, if we're a member of one of the charter banks or the other banks, like, how does this impact even people within the community if you think you're investing in a financial institution?
So again, thanks, Member Hahn, for the question, and again, through the chair to Member Hahn. Again, it is an open case, so I'm going to try to be careful about how much I'm responding to. But I don't think that it's the definition of a legitimate financial institution is pointing towards or reflective of what most people would think of it. So it's not a bank. This one involves, I believe, a cryptocurrency type party, as opposed to an institution. So the definition of what's listed here might make one think that it's what most people think is a financial institution, i.e. a bank. It is certainly not a bank.
Okay, thank you. The second question I had was, in May there was an increase in break-and enters, and there were 5 in May. When I look at the number 5, could it be a break and enter with 3 people, or is that per situation? And that brought us to 14 to date, which was on the higher end of the 5-year or the 4-year comparative. And I was wondering, is that a reflection of the economic situation? Is it a reflection of, you know, liquor being sold at convenience stores? And I was just wondering if you could give a little bit of a further update on that.
So again, through the chair to Member Hahn. So your first question is, it'll be 5 distinct incidents.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So on the UCR code, again, those are indicative of an individual event.
Okay.
So when you see 5, it'll mean 5 individual events. And I hadn't specifically sort of reviewed what those 5 break-and-enters would have been, but they certainly, obviously the definition of a break-and-enter is breaking into or entering into a property, whether it's a residence, a commercial property, an outbuilding, as opposed to a theft, say, from a store. A lot of times, and again, just sort of generalizing some comments, we'll find that we have some ebbs and flows with property-related offenses where we generally find it's a very small number of persons who are responsible who become very active over a very short period of time, which throws a real skew into your crime-related numbers, because all of a sudden you go through these spikes. Perhaps the person, and a lot, again, you'll find property crimes tend to happen throughout many different areas. Criminals travel. They don't just sort of, pitch their tent in one community and repeat over and over and over in one community. They are very mobile. So what may happen is the person may come through an area, be very active, and then move on to a different area. More often than not, there is an apprehension and they are charged. And I'm not sure if that is what occurred in our specific area, but we can certainly dive back into this information and report back at perhaps the next board meeting if where we are in relation to these specific numbers. Generally, and again, overall, I think our property-related offense numbers, when I look at where we've been, say, certainly over the last couple of years, we're hovering where we were last year, but certainly lower than where we were the 2 previous years. So, we take very serious ensuring that our community members feel safe, and one of those areas of reassuring safety is when you see low property-related offenses, because that's generally, if people are going to become victims of some sort of criminal activity, more often than not, it's from a property-related lens. So, we take great care in wanting to ensure that our community feels safe, and that, their homes, their businesses, their other properties they have, aren't being victimized from an offender.
Thank you. Chair, I was going to ask you, in your questions, further questions, does it also include questions on the budget update?
I believe, yep, that's all part of
Okay.
number 5, so if you have questions for the budget.
Okay, then I had another question for the chief. And in May, the Provincial Offences Court, we received $134,274, and that's, if I recall, way over budget. And what does that all mean, that 134,000?
So, through the chair to Member Hahn, this is actually a really good news story. So, this is revenue that the municipality has received, and anytime that our members are laying provincial offenses, so traffic tickets, liquor tickets, trespass to property, any act that is covered as a provincial offense generally is processed through a ticket. The tickets are heard at 824 Dundas Street in the City of London. So the City of London manages the provincial offences courthouse. Any tickets that are paid, there is a sharing cost breakdown for those tickets, and I'll try to do it in more of a simple math. So, if the ticket is worth $100, there are provincial surcharges for victims of crime. So, say $10 of that 100 is set aside for that. The City of London then applies an expense or a cost recovery for being the managers of the court, and they take a certain share of that. The rest is then provided back to the municipality of where the ticket was issued. So it creates revenue for your community when you are writing provincial offense tickets. Quite typically, these numbers have been a little bit less than this, and I'll say pre-pandemic they were, if I remember correctly, somewhere around the $75,000 to $85,000 sort of on an annual basis. During the pandemic, the revenue number dropped substantially, and this really is the first year where it's come back to that pre-pandemic levels, yet even higher. And so, anticipating in going forward, we would like to hopefully see this sort of numbers stay the same, because it's a revenue back into the community.
Yes.
So that's where that number, or what that number is representative of. It also includes, if I may, bylaw related revenue. So obviously we do some bylaw enforcement, generally overnight parking during the winter months, but the municipality does have a bylaw office that does other bylaw related enforcement. That revenue would appear, my guess, I'm hoping, in a separate revenue line that would be directed back to their department.
Would this be then a one-time payment potentially for the year 2024?
Again, that would be correct. It would be the revenue received from the 2024 provincial offenses.
Oh, that's pretty significant. My further question was in regards to the Middlesex County Fire Dispatch, and I know that we have extended that portfolio with some further proceeds, and I noticed that our budget is about $614,000, and at June 30th, which is halfway to that mark, we have received 153. So it's about a quarter versus a half. Is it just in regards to slow payment? There is nothing that we should be surprised of that we wouldn't attain the 614?
Again, through the chair to Member Hahn, I believe it's just a process-related piece as to where we are at in the collection of the, the outstanding fees, I guess. The county generally is pretty consistent in paying their bill on time, and I don't have any concerns that that the rest of this will be coming in.
Thank you.
No other questions? We will look to take those for information. And we have a mover and a seconder. A move by Member Grantham, second Member Hahn, all in favor. Carried. On to number 6, staff reports. We'll put it back over to the chief to comment on those.
Thank you, Chair. So I believe the first one, I'm going to maybe defer 6.1 and 6.2 to the Deputy Chief, as he was the author of both those reports.
Good morning. As you can see, we've had a communicator resign effective July 3rd, 2025, not 2024. We did hire 2 other part-time communicators. The second one, Tess Verhoeven, actually submitted a resignation late last week, so I wasn't able to update this. And then Staff Sergeant Whitenberg started his secondment at OPC effective yesterday, so he's getting acquainted down at the police college. Any questions about that report? Oh, yep.
Deputy Chief, the communicator first position you were talking about, was that a part-time communicator, that person, or was that person full-time?
So the communicator that resigned on July 3rd, she was a part-time communicator.
Okay. So, in effect, about 2 part-times in 2 months.
Yes. Yeah.
Likely seeking full-time status somewhere, is that?
Yeah, so the second one, she was offered a position somewhere else. So.
Okay, thank you.
6.2, did you want to talk to any of those? Yep.
I can.
Or do you have any questions about those?
If there's
reports?
any questions about it, this is just a mandatory thing we need to do under the CSPA. So there are 2 newest officers that successfully completed the basic constable program and have now been sworn in.
Okay, no questions for that one. 6.3. Should we vote them in separate?
Yeah, I would do them separately.
Okay, sorry, yeah, we'll do, vote 6.1, 6.2, we have a mover and a seconder to accept those. Member Grantham, second by Member Hahn, all in favor. Okay, and then we'll, we can vote for 6.3 as well, now mover and a seconder for 6.3.
So, can I just want to ask about the motion, Chair?
Sure, yeah.
And I don't know, Chief, delegation of authority. I notice in 6.3, you're receiving it for information, but you're asking the board's approval to add those. I don't know if Chief, if you need our approval because, it's your organization, and I know within the municipality delegation of authority, the CAO, it's his organization as long as it's within budget. So I appreciate your coming to us, but does the chief really need the board's approval?
Operational items, no, he doesn't not.
No, so
it's just for information.
we're just receiving. I noticed in there asking for approval. I just want to make sure that you can do what you need to do, Chief. So thank you.
Oh, I certainly appreciate that. So through the chair to the board, I think the report certainly it outlines the pathway that we're looking to return to. This organizational structure we've sort of at various times bended or moved the organization hierarchy to sort of be reflective of the skill set of the time. And so we're just looking to return to, again, this previous model. I would say the heightened increase through the new Community Safety Policing Act and the level of supervision and some administrative work aligns with this model of returning to the two staff sergeant positions. Certainly, you know, the increased activity we have in our communications bureau, the various points of contact we have with outside partners, agents, clients, any of those terms may apply. Certainly, it puts the right level of leadership in the right spot to deal with those. And again, from a budget perspective, as they go through various levels, the initial changes really are minimal as far as the financial impact from where they were in a different rank. So I'll maybe just leave it at that, and if there's any follow-up questions.
Any questions by any of the members? We have a mover and a seconder to receive those for information. Moved by member Hahn, seconded by member Brantham, all in favor. Carried. On to number 7, announcements and inquiries by members. We'll start off with member Grantham. Have any comments?
Thank you. I'm going to start, Chair, by congratulating our police chief for just recently becoming president of the Ontario Chiefs of Police Association. As I said publicly, that's a tremendous compliment to Chief Campbell, obviously, for his work, but a compliment to our community that we're able to attract people like Chief Campbell and be recognized for what we do. So on behalf of the board and the community, Chief, congratulations on your new role. Thank you.
Through the chair and to all of the board, and even in the absence of member Brennan, I certainly appreciate the kindness and the support I get from this board. It's an incredible level of cooperation, respect that I feel, and I know that our team has, knowing that you know, we are very strongly supported by our board and our community, and it is a true honor for myself to take on this position with the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police. But it's not really an option unless I have the support from my board, and I have the level of support and competency within the organization, and you know, Deputy Chief Cushman sitting to my left. It's like a security blanket. I know I can afford some time to work for the association, knowing that life at home in our office is going to continue seamlessly under his leadership and the strong support and strong membership that we have throughout the organization. So again, I appreciate those kind words.
Yep. And I have one last one. I can't leave it such a high note. Apologize, Chief. This is a traffic concern, and I'm reticent not bringing it up, is in Melbourne. The four corners in Melbourne, the corner of Melbourne Road and Longwoods. It's I think right now it's one of the most dangerous intersections. And there's one citizen who sends me videos all the time of people running the stop sign going north and south. And yesterday I got a video, there was an accident there at the four corners. So I'll do this formally rather than ask if we can increase the presence. I'm gonna be bringing it up at traffic committee tomorrow, but being a Melbourne person, I hear it a lot, and I get the text. It's just a bad accident waiting to happen. So I want to ask it in a public forum if we could step up the watch of that intersection while we work out a longer thing through the traffic committee.
Through the chair to the mayor and to the entire board, we will certainly you know, ensure that we have the resources attending to those traffic complaints and increasing a presence in those areas where our community members are sharing a concern and have a vested interest.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you. Member Hahn.
I had a few things, and I wanted to just mention, I think you had mentioned it at the beginning of the reappointment as a provincial appointee for this board. And I wanted to ask Ron Leclerc, who's on, and I know that at our May meeting, I had mentioned my renewal was coming up. It's a one-year appointment. And I believe, Ron, you were going to find out the status of the other open appointee. And I wondered if you had any further update. As we mentioned it's taking a year.
Yeah, so congratulations on getting that extension. Very happy about that because it certainly makes the board's functioning much easier given the fact that it's a provincial opening. I did reach out to the provincial appointees people, and the response I got was I was made aware, or they were aware of the vacancy and that they would raise it to the minister's table. And so we wait. My biggest fear was that we were going to get in a situation that you weren't reappointed as well, or yours expired. So I was quite happy to see yours come across the table. Sorry, I don't have anything more definitive, but that's the answer I got.
Okay. A second comment I was going to make was the new advertising program, and it's the Ontario advertising program, Answer the Call. And it's more digital, it's online, and I was really pleased to see that. I know it's primarily in the larger communities, however, there's a normal transfer to smaller communities also. And what I really enjoyed about this Answer the Call is they're trying to get to make sure that the people understand what this position is about, and they're giving reality situations. You know, you answer these questions. I didn't go through it, obviously. I'm not trying to be there. But I was pleased to see that provincially that they're putting efforts into advertising for the right candidates for policing, and so that people are aware of what that job really entails, and not sugarcoating it, but also saying these are the realities. So I just wanted to bring that forward. And I don't know if you have any further comments on it.
I do, and through the chair to Member Hahn, and again, I appreciate you bringing that forward. You know, my colleague, Deputy Chief Wilkie from Halton, who was the past president, was instrumental in working on that campaign. And again, just for the board and for any of the community that is listening, it was an initiative and a collaboration really between the OACP, the police associations, both PAO, Toronto Police Association, the OPPA. Kim Darling from the OAPSB was part of the collaborative table, as well as the ministry, and our colleagues at IPCO, the Indigenous Police Chiefs of Ontario. So the idea behind the program really was to create a window for people to become interested in policing. And the way the initiative really is intended to roll out is create an interest, create a pathway for people to explore what does policing look like. And at the OACP annual general meeting, they actually had a presentation, and it was the first time I got to see how it would look for a person who is brand new into policing and what it would do. So there's a couple of really interesting perspectives in that it feeds you into an area, much like any marketing thing. As you answer questions, it draws you further and further in. But there's some elements to it that are really unique, and it allows you to, you know, almost sort of identify that, hey, I like communities that are within an hour of Barrie, and it'll pinpoint you to every service that is in existence within that area. So it helps sort of draw you to the type of policing service that maybe is most attractive to you. Certainly our friends with IPCO have challenges with recruiting in the far north. And there are some very specific sort of hooks to try to draw people into that area of policing. So it's a really unique idea, but it's meant to be a real sort of draw towards policing in general. Because every police organization in the province, and I would even say nationally, over the last 4 or 5 years have had some challenges of pulling people into the profession. You know, whether it's been incidents that have happened either nationally or internationally. You know, the pandemic had some effects on what I will call institutions. And so this is really an attempt by an investment by the government to say, hey, listen, it's a very noble cause. Great opportunity to find your way. We did have 2 members who participated in the photo op when they were putting together that video. Constable Fisher and Constable Gollum both attended Halton. And it's actually, we should probably share some of those pictures with the board. Candidly, I think they look like glamour shots. They're really done really well. But it, for us, we will utilize those and we will participate in the program as well. Again, hoping to find someone who perhaps prior to the campaign didn't think of or wasn't that interested in policing.
Very good. Good to hear. My third comment I want to bring forward is both the chair, Matt, and I were able to attend the annual spring conference for the OAPSB. And I know I was quite pleased to. I only attended one day, so possibly, Chair, you might want to bring forward further comments. But the day I attended, Chief Tai Trong had a really impelling speech on the needs and demands of a changing community. And we know, being in London, the changes he has made. And it was very good to understand the rationale and the initial results that are starting to come forward with that. So as a board, why I appreciate attending these types of sessions, it reminds us to always look and be aware of changes in the environment, or I call it the environmental scan of your area. So very good opening speech that he had. There was also, I was interested in, there's going to be an executive leadership development program that's going to be launched, and you're aware of that too. But so it speaks to senior level people in the membership that might have an interest in pursuing more executive opportunities within policing, and that they're developing that program. So it'll be interesting to see what that may start to look like, and if that's something, not necessarily every year, that the board, the Strathroy-Caradoc board may be looking at, but always keeping that in mind, that if you're trying to develop, you know, executive people within your police services, we should be looking at that. And the other part I really appreciate always is the breakout sessions, and you get to choose between maybe 6 sessions, you choose 2 or generally that day, but they're all governance related, like our responsibilities as governors in the board. So I wanted to bring forward some of the what I felt were some of the benefits of attending a session like that during the annually or during the day. Thank you.
Sure, thanks, Seneca. Chief, any comments, inquiries?
Thanks, Chair. I wanted to inform the board, I think it was back at the May meeting, I had gotten approval for a a trip that was planned through the OACP and the Friends of Simon Wiesenthal that was supposed to take me to Europe for about 12 days. Obviously, because of some global political issues, specifically in Israel, the Friends of Simon Wiesenthal canceled that trip. So I've been reimbursed part of the cost. They have come back to the municipality. With my airline flights, they are not reimbursed. I didn't get the cancellation insurance. So I have already spoken to the HR department, and I will be implementing a payback. So currently the flight is in my name, and I have a credit that has to be used within a 12-month period. So I will return the cost of that ticket back to the municipality on a cost collection piece on all future pays, so that the municipality is reimbursed for their cost, and then we'll go from there. Now, there is another option through the travel agent that if they are able to change the name on the ticket, and someone else comes in and buys that package, then I would then get reimbursed, which would then automatically go back to the municipality to square up. But if that doesn't happen, as I say, I've set a plan in place with the HR department and the payroll to pay that amount back.
Sure, thank you for the transparency on that.
Can I- sorry,
Sorry,
can I-
yeah, go ahead.
So, going down a road, Chief, I appreciate and respect your integrity and your being totally transparent. But I understand they're public funds, so I don't know what the rest of the board. But this, and I don't like the word trip, because it sounds, but where you're going would help our community. It would help your growth and help you better serve our community. So the board approved you to go to help our community. It wasn't, you didn't cancel it, did you, Chief, or was it, that's my main question. Did you cancel the trip, or was it canceled overall?
And again, through the chair to the mayor, it was canceled by the Friends of Simon Wiesenthal. So it was at their call that they decided to cancel the trip based on safety reasons. And again, I appreciate your description of the opportunity as a learning educational piece to learn about hate-based crimes, and how as a police leader and as a leader in a municipality, how you address those types of crimes and protect victims of crime, as well as provide a solid policing foundation to eliminate those types of behaviors in your community.
Yeah, Chair, I'm in a bit of a quandary, because I respect the chief and I appreciate his integrity in wanting to reimburse the money. To me, it just doesn't seem right. I'm gonna be open and honest about that, because, from my days in the private industry, I did a lot of flying. And if something was canceled because of no fault of my own, I wasn't asked to reimburse it. So I don't know how much the money is. I just want to say, I don't think that we should be looking at the chief to reimburse the money when we approved the trip. It was canceled through no fault of his, and it would have helped the community. So I don't think, for lack of a better word, we should penalize the chief. That's just my opinion, and I don't know if we need other board members to talk about. Doesn't sit right with me.
If I may, just to provide a follow-up comment. So every participant, was responsible for going through this a specific travel agent to secure their flight. And so I feel a responsibility, because I didn't opt to partake in a trip cancellation policy that might have avoided this scenario from happening. And again, I'm okay with going through this process. I certainly appreciate and have a lot of respect for the perspective you have, Mayor. I want the board to know I'm okay with proceeding down, the path that I have selected to reimburse, because the flight credit, again, is in my specific name.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with paying for that to maintain that.
Okay, that's fine.
Perfect, okay. Deputy Chief, any comments or queries?
Normally I don't, but in this
Oh,
instance, I just want to thank the board for your support. I signed the 3-year extension a couple weeks ago, I think it was, 3 weeks ago. So I just wanted to thank the board for their support and trusted me to lead the organization until the end of 2028.
And then we'll go from there. Excellent, thank you, yes, and congratulations on the extension. Yeah, we look forward to all the good work that you're going to do and have done up to now. My only comments, I guess, are congratulations for multiple people. First, for the chief, congratulations on your new appointment as president. I'm sure they got the right guy. Look forward to all the good work you're gonna do over your first term. And to Member Hahn, congratulations on your extension from the province. You ask the questions that nobody else thinks of, so you always bring valuable insight to the meeting, so congratulations on that. Other than that, I don't have any comments, so we can move to in-camera session. Do we have a mover and a seconder to go in camera? Moved by Member Grantham, second by Member Hahn, all in favor? Carried. Okay, welcome back to open session. The board moved into closed session to discuss one item in accordance with the municipality's procedure bylaw to improve in-camera meeting minutes from the meeting on May 20th, 2025. And then one item pursuant to section 44 sub 2D of the CSPA regarding labor relations or employee negotiations. Do we have I guess we mover and seconder for that in-camera report? Moved by Member Grantham, second by Member Hahn. Favors carried. Schedule of meetings, next meeting Tuesday, August 19th, 2025 at 10 a.m.
Chair.
Oh, sorry, no, we voted not to have the meeting. On
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we'd have quorum.
Yeah, I believe we had talked at our May meeting that we were going to be doing the July meeting only and not August, so our next meeting will be September.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that date was. Let me just check. I have it written down here. September 16th will be the next meeting at 10 a.m. Okie dokie. That being said, we have a mover and a seconder to adjourn until September. Moved by Member Hahn, second by Member Grantham. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much, everyone.